Hey YouTube, this is Trish again. I was coming at you with another video, but this one's a cooking one this time. I'm now making a cooking video. I know, surprise, surprise, surprise! I'm cooking again. This was a requested video by my now vegan daughter, but this used to be her favorite meal next to chili verde. And it's shepherd's pie. It's a poor man's meal. There's two ways you can make it. There's a lot of versions of how you can make it. With cream of mushroom soup, or you can use any kind of cream of broccoli, cream of anything, or you can use a beef gravy. Just depends on how you choose to make your sauce for it. There is no rules on that, okay? This one's a kind of just throw together, put it in the oven, but let me start the oven. Speaking of the oven, I gotta preheat the oven. You pretty much pre-cook everything. Everything's gonna be a pre-cook. Put it in the pan, toss it around in the oven. Bake it for 30 minutes, but we'll go through it step by step so we know. But the potatoes cook by themselves. I'm going to cook the ground beef and all that jazz with some spices and all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll open cans up as we go and add as we go, as we need to, okay? The only thing that you should know is that don't put the water that's in the canned green beans. You can get frozen green beans, but they're still or steamed green beans. You can use any kind of vegetable you like. If you don't like green beans, you can use broccoli. If you like peas and carrots, use peas and carrots. You choose what kind of vegetables you want in it, okay? That's a personal decision of what you want to put in it. But this is how my mom used to make it, which was just a cream of mushroom soup. So that's how I made it for my kids when they grew up, and they ate it that way. And then I make it for my husband this way too. But he would like me to try cream of broccoli soup with some broccoli wedges. But I forget. I'm very forgetful sometimes about things like that. And I just bought what I know best. So that's on me. Because I'm so used to doing it the same way all the time. So I'm going to move you over to the pot. Hopefully I got you up high enough. Oh, wow. Great. Okay, we'll get some, got some fresh garlic in there. Get some onion powder. And I don't put too much salt in there because the meat will have some salt. The cream of mushroom is a little bit salty, plus I put salt in the potatoes. Salt and pepper in the potatoes also. So, but the pepper, I put salt and pepper in the potatoes also. So, like I said. So, just make sure that you drain your green beans, or at least get all the water out of your green beans. And when you go to put your cream of mushroom soup in, because you're going to mix everything in this pot before you, and make sure it's all smooth so it's no clumps or lumps. I used to make this when we lived closer to family too. I'd make it when they wanted to come over for supper to the house for my brothers and sisters-in-laws, because they're quite younger than I am, so I used to make it for them too when they'd want to come over and have supper with the kids. Because that's just, I never told, like, I couldn't turn down kids. Of course, when they wanted to take leftovers, you know, then we would be having a little bit different discussion. But they, you know, were a little bit hesitant on that because they knew how I felt about it. Like, they couldn't push the boundaries. Like, if they ate seconds, that wouldn't be a big deal. But if they were wanting, like, unless I made, like, because this is only a pound of ground beef, by the way. So this makes enough for like a day, day and a half. Sometimes 2 days, depending on how hungry you are. And it's a pretty quick meal. I think most of the time is taken up in the oven. So let me get some water going for these mashed potatoes. And I do put some water and some milk in my potatoes. Some people will do it all melt, no butter or no water at all. I like the equal ratio because I put a little bit of milk in the pure mushroom can so I can get the little bit of extra out of that can. So and see how it's cooking up nice and fast. I'll raise you up a little bit more so you can see inside the pot. I thought you were up far enough. But yeah, this is, even when you go to, like, say you go to, I don't know a lot of towns that have them anymore, but back when I was probably in my teenagers years, I didn't go to one until I was in my teenage years, but they had them before that too, because my aunt used to go. But at the Ren fairs, they used to talk about these all the time too. So you could either get a turkey leg or you could get shepherd's pie, and they made them in individual little pans. And you can do that too. You can make individuals ones, and you can buy those little, like, pot pie pans, or a lot of people will keep their pot pie pans where they have, like, the TV dinner pot pies, and keep the pans, or they'll buy pans like that and make individual singles. It just depends on how you want to do it. Oh, let me get these green beans up and then drain. Because like I said, once the ground beef gets done, it goes by pretty fast. I gotta get water going too, and I gotta get some butter and some salt in that pan. Okay, there's And I was raised on Imperial or Country Crock. The holidays is when I use real butter and everything. But I think I should put this cheese in the refrigerator for now too, because I don't want it to turn into a big old blob. It's still a little bit warm, even though we got a lot of wind today. Yeah. Oh, let's get this on. Okay, okay, the oven is now ready. Gotta rinse drain the ground beef. I already drained the green beans off the juice, off the green beans. And I have taken the idea from a couple YouTubers and other people that do videos about to make sure all your oil, so that your meal doesn't turn oily. Okay, there's the green beans. Rinsing, drying out the pan from all that oil from the meat. And like I was saying in yesterday's video, I tried shopping at the Food for Less, and I think that I got a number of bargains that I would not have gotten at Walmart for a really good price. I was actually kind of surprised. A lot of things were the same price or equivalent to. So, but they did have a few items that were a better deal. Okay. And I don't fill the can all the ways up. I only put about 1/4 of because you don't want that to happen. Exactly what happened. You don't want it to slosh everywhere when you go to pour it, okay? And it's gonna stay just a little lumpy. I'll put a little bit more salt and pepper, I think, in there. Put a little bit of pepper in the potatoes so I don't forget. Okay. And see, when it starts boiling like that, that's when you want to put your meat back in. Because then it's the right consistency. Okay. There. And that's that. And that's how quick that meal went. Now we're just waiting on the mashed potatoes. But mashed potatoes, especially when you're doing instant, like if you're making homemade mashed potatoes, those potatoes boiling would take a very long time. So I think that's why my mama used to make it this way, was because, for one, I don't think she really liked peeling all those potatoes. And the other is she had 2 growing children, my brother and myself, were growing. So she had to make meals that would last for a couple days, or a big enough meal that would satisfy us would stick to your guts, as she would say. Stick to your bones. She would put it. Because she was always worried that we were, you know, not heavy enough for her. She always thought we were always too little. Okay, turn that off because that's pretty much done. Just got to finish the potatoes. Usually the potatoes would be popping everywhere. Because pretty much what you're doing when you're making your mashed potatoes, because you're going to be putting this in the oven, which you can't see, but I'll show you. It didn't get to a rolling boil, but it got to a boil, okay? So now I'm going to move it over here. Turn that off. Okay, so I'm going to move it over. So you can see what I'm going to do next. Okay. I can go down a little bit so you can see. Nice and good. Okay. So what you do is you take all this goodness, yummy stuff, and just slop her in the pan. You don't have to pre-grease it or nothing like that, because you serve it in a bowl. It's what my mother would consider a one-pot dinner or a one-bowl dinner. And you just take your potatoes, and it depends on the potatoes thickness. Let me get my towel here. You put your preferred layer of thickness of mashed potatoes on the top. Like some people like a lot more mashed potatoes because the potatoes will kind of somewhat soak up some of the oops, sorry, I moved you all around. Probably made you a little dizzy. Soak up some of the cream of mushroom soup. Okay. So, but now that I just make it for my husband and I don't, and plus I don't make this meal very often. For him and I, because like I said, he prefers me to branch out from this one that I've known and done for years. But see how it just kind of layers on top. There's no huss or no fuss about that. And then on the cheese, oh, that was the other thing I didn't tell you. I'll put it in the description below, but I'll tell you how much, verbally, how much cheese I grated. I bought 1 pound of cheese, but I only grated probably little under 1/4 of a pound of that cheese. And then we do this. There we go. And then we get our cheese back out, because like I said, I wanted to put it in the refrigerator to make sure that it didn't melt. And then you just take your cheese and layer her down with the cheese on the top. And this is medium cheese. And it's the cheese of your choice. Like if you have, say you have that mixed cheese. What is that called? Oh, what is that cheese called? Anyway, it's a mixed trio of cheese. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. That comes in a bag. Mexican blend or whatever. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. Sorry, guys. I'm really struggling to figure out the names of certain things lately. But you kind of can relate to when you forget the words. And if you can't, forgive me, because I struggle lately with trying to figure out the names of certain things, because I don't buy it. So if I don't buy it, I don't know exactly the name of it, because I don't buy that. I buy blocks of cheese and I grate them myself because I prefer that. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll put it in the oven and we'll be back in 30 minutes and then we'll have a taste test. Okay? Okay, it's been about 30 minutes in the oven and that's what it looks like when it comes out. So, typically you can wait about 5 minutes to serve, but it looks like it's going to be thick enough for me to serve it up now. But I'm going to scoot it over so that it doesn't drip. And if it does, it'll just drip right into the bowl. So I'll move you over a little bit so you can see everything that's going on. Okay? So there's that, so you can see the bowl. Because I'm going to serve up my husband's first. Because I always serve my husband first. You guys know that. I like him to be served up first. And he likes to mix his together. And I mix mine together too, so it doesn't matter. And once it sets up more, that's the thing. That's why you usually will let it sit for a few minutes. But it's going to have to cool down anyway before you can put it in your mouth. It's going to be too hot. It'll sit up a little bit. And then leftovers for this stuff is really, really good too. So, I'll put the ingredients and how much of everything that I did and all that stuff. And then I'll serve up mine. Since that one's too hot to eat anyway, I'll just go ahead and serve up mine. And then I'll take my husband's his, and then we'll have a taste test together, and hopefully mine will be cooled by the time we'll have a taste test together. And don't mind my hair, because it's been a long one. The time on my clock is never right, so of course it's going to say that it's way later than it is, and it's not late, but it's been a very long day. For me. Okay. There, so it can cool down. I'll leave that there. And then we'll be back for a taste test. I'm coming back at you with a taste test. I'm trying to let it cool down a little bit, but it's not wanting to cool down. And my husband's usually pretty honest with me about if it came out good or not, so I don't hear him telling me that it's not good, so usually he'll tell me if it's not good. Oh, he said it was good, so that tells me he likes it, so that is a plus. So I gotta let it cool down a little bit. So I'll put all the ingredients and all the amounts that I used of everything in the description below. I try to make sure that I give you guys all the little tidbits about how I make it. Like I said, don't mind my hair. It's a little wild. It's been a very long day. Oh yeah, it came out really, really good. Just enough salt and pepper too. Good, I'm glad that I didn't over salt and pepper it. I'm gonna get me one more little bite. But like I said, you can use that brown gravy and mix it up if you want, like it instead of cream of mushroom. You can also use cream of broccoli, but it's really hard to find cream of broccoli, but it's cheddar broccoli. So that one's easier to find. And then just add broccoli instead of green beans. But you can add any vegetables that you want, that you prefer. Like, you don't like green beans, you can put any vegetable that you want in it. There's not, but this is what the exact one that used to sell at the Renaissance fairs. But like this, like I said, they sell them in those little tins. And they were like $5. And this was the first time I had ever had it too. And then my mom used to make it all the time too. And she had 2 growing kids. Like, we're both, my brother and myself. My brother's 7 foot and I'm 6 foot. Well, I used to be 6'2", but I shrank a little bit. But it sticks to your bones. So anyway. Really good. I hope you give this one a try. Remember, if you have nothing nice to say to somebody or about somebody or anything, don't say anything at all. We're trying to spread positivity and be nice to folks and smile at everybody and spread joy around the world. We don't need none of that negative stuff around here. But anyway, I know I did 2 videos back to back, but I did an unboxing, an unpackaging, and a cooking video. But this one goes to my daughter, and you know who you are. And if you guys don't know who she is, my daughter's name is Amber. So this one's for you, baby girl. Mwah! Love ya. Bye, everybody.